Hello and welcome to the Gers TV. My name is Si Leslie. I'm going to host a chat today with Goldie and with Ryan.
Hi everyone.
The future of Rangers.
How are we doing, guys? As well?
Yep, very well. Yourself?
Doing fine.
So before we start, guys, what I'm going to do is basically we're going to have a quick introduction of what we want to talk about, but some standards first of all. I think it's fair that the guys that are involved with Rangers Football Club love the club, and we don't want to start a witch hunt against anyone personally, so no personal attacks is the main thing to that.
Certainly, definitely.
Yeah, echo that, and I think we made clear as well that we would rather actually not be doing this show, but I think there are important matters to discuss, and we would love to have your views on it. So please comment, and then shortly we'll open the phone lines if you want to phone in and give us your views on it as well. So
The main thing is that probably what we say is that we've seen this film before, and it's not got a happy ending.
Yeah.
It's not got a happy ending, so we want to obviously raise our concerns and make things known to people that that what's been happening and stuff there, because there'll be stuff that we bring to the forefront today that people might not be aware of.
I've forgotten.
Are forgotten, and it just seems that almost every day at the moment there seems to be just bad news coming out of Ibrox and stuff that's embarrassing the club and embarrassing us as fans.
I think that's the main thing. What we want to do is kind of highlight our concerns, our opinion, and where we go in the future.
Definitely. No, we want to see a resolution of this. All we want to do is see the club back being the success that it once was. And it's not to say that we're not successful just now. There's clubs that would envy us, the games that we have and the competitions that we play in. But as far as we're concerned, we want to be the best in class. We want to be the #1 club in the country, and let's be honest, at this moment in time we're not.
Yeah, and I think what's driving our concerns and what's driving the show today is, I'm sure everyone watching, and as we've said to both as well, we all want what's best for the club. It just seems that there just seems to be what I would personally describe as strange decisions at the moment at Rangers, and there seems to have been for a number of years. And I guess at the end of the day, we all want what's best for the club, and we would like some transparency as well.
Yep.
So, Ryan, you've done a hell of a lot of research over the last kind of week or so.
Yeah, I mean, these are things that have just been on the back of my mind throughout the current board's reign, and it's questions that have been asked, and it's basically come to a head over the last certainly this summer with the problems that we're having with the stadium. Obviously news this week that the board aren't doing enough due diligence in the hiring and staff and stuff like that, so it's came to a head, and there's just a few things that I want to make supporters aware of. When they're asking the questions of the board, that they're in full of the knowledge that they're making an informed decision whether or not they're in support of the board or not.
Yeah, and you're going to take us back.
So the first thing in August 2020, during what was quite a difficult time financially for quite a lot of people during the COVID period, the club decided it was a great idea to introduce something called My Gers, which has been very controversial to say the least. But My Gers is effectively a club that you pay a £60 a year membership every year for, on the basis that you get certain rights within that. So you get access to tickets after season tickets, after season ticket holders buy their tickets. You would have a priority access over general public to buy tickets. You have the right to sit in the season ticket waiting list as well. You also have the right to buy things like cup games. There's certainly 10 things that you can do by being My Gers members, but you're having to pay a premium every single month for that. The way that the My Gers now seems to work is when it comes to tickets for cup semi-finals, cup finals, that there's now categories where you have to be a season ticket holder, continuous card payment. You have to be a My Gers member, which is categorised as well, to actually have any chance of actually getting it. So what does that do? Does that encourage people? Is it now a situation where we're now an excluded club, where we're not letting everyone in? How does that affect Joe Public? If you've got a young kid who is taking an affection for Rangers and, Dad, I'd like to go to Ibrox, please, would you take me to the Rangers game? Sorry son, I'm not a My Gers member, I can't possibly take you to Ibrox.
Yeah. And so essentially it's a tax, it's a sales tax. And what the benefit Rangers get is obviously extra money, but they also get people's data as well. So they can get marketing gains out of it and advertising gains out of it as well. So the kind of defence, as I say, sometimes throughout you might hear myself or Siri, when you're Ryan playing devil's advocate, is that they probably thought at the time it was brought in with a good intention, but it doesn't seem to have transpired that way, and it's essentially just a sales levy on tickets.
Yeah. The thing for me, personally, I don't think it represents value for money. Personally, that's the thing. See if there was something in the 60 quid, you get this gift pack that comes through every year from it, and to be honest with you, it's
To be better giving you none.
to be honest, they'd be better off giving you a credit towards a ticket or a voucher towards a merchandise or something like that. You'd be better off than giving what it's a token gesture. It's not worth it, to be honest with you. But like I say, it's a levy, it's a tax, but they're now kind of in a situation where you're almost scared. My main problem is with it is that they always say, and the club will say, that most of your managers' points are basically made from match attendance, right? But how can you get tickets for buying women's season tickets, buying B-team season tickets? You were encouraged to put money towards the building of Edmondson House. You became basically a member of Edmondson House. And the worst one for me was when we were coming just to almost the finalising of Edmondson House. There was an invitation that we sent out to basically people, well-to-do, and you had the opportunity to buy a lifetime gold managers membership with that for £60,000 per person. And that's basically just...
How many did you buy?
No.
See, the thing is, even if you had the money to buy it, I think there's a type of Rangers supporter who probably agree with us that even if they had the money, we would still think it's wrong. It's buying yourself a position as a supporter.
I was actually, I'll be perfectly honest, I'm a Rangers member because I want to try and participate, get the cup final tickets and say, well, so I do pay it grudgingly, but I have to pay it because I don't pay, I don't think I'll get to those games. But I was sitting one day, I was sitting in the kitchen, it was a Saturday morning, I was coming to the game, and I sat there and I had my basket. I had a women's season ticket holding my basket, and I had a B-team, I had Gers TV and a subscription, all my basket. I think it was coming something like 400 quid. And I was just about to buy it because I was thinking, I'm not interested in buying I'm not going to go about this football, nothing against women's football, I'm sure you just enjoy it.
It's just not your thing.
I'm buying the points, but then I'm thinking, why am I doing that? I'm out buying my fellow supporters. Just so I can get more points, so I can go before it. And that's not what our football club's all about. Our football club's not about how much money you've got compared to how much money. So you're out buying your fellow supporters. Our club in the coin phrase says anyone and everyone. That's one way to do it. I don't think my church represents anyone and everyone.
And it's not optional, because you're absolutely right, Ryan. If you want to get a ticket for any of the kind of big games or cup games or any kind of semi-final or final, you have to pay the tax. It's based on it's basically based on whoever can afford it gets it.
I can see the need for some sort of scheme. The major football clubs in the world have these sorts of membership schemes. Let's say your Bayern Munich, your Man City's, Arsenal, they all have them, which is why probably Rangers decided they want to start with. But it's for me that it needs to be more value for money in it. Effectively, this moment in time is a £60 donation.
I mean, you could argue, people say, let's say you might be a member of the club. I would give the argument if you're a season ticket holder, you're a member of the club.
Yeah, for me, that's the essential point of season tickets.
That's your yearly commitment.
Yeah. So, moving on, the same summer, Rangers started a partnership with Castor.
So it started with Castor that year. I think it was obviously coming to the end of the time we were struggling obviously with Ashley and stuff like that. So a partnership was arranged with Castor, and fans obviously there was quite a lot of trouble with the orders. A lot of people were receiving the wrong stuff coming through in the post. People were getting stuff that's even this, I think it was this summer, wasn't it? It was strips coming through, there was no sponsorship on the strips and stuff like that. And how's that possible? The fact that there's the quality control there. Garments falling apart in the wash, people getting wrong size. I mean, I got a Castor Rangers Christmas jumper. Believe it or not, it's a medium. Right? I've not had a medium jumper since I was 14-year-old. Right? But luckily enough, I was actually in the shop and I bought that. You imagine the amount of people that bought online globally, Rangers are a global club. It's all over the world. How many people that bought the Rangers Christmas jumper online and had it delivered? I'm an extra large and it goes through and it's like a single duvet. So then how many returns are they getting?
So there was also, if I remember, Rangers jerseys getting sent with different club names on the back of them and things like that, and different labels.
So the question to the board is, why are you partnering yourself up with companies who can't deliver what we need?
I actually seen an interview with the head of Castor. I don't even know how you pronounce it, is it?
Castor, as far as I know.
So they see themselves as what's called a disruptor. So they looked at the football industry and said, and thought to themselves, there's only a few big brands here that are actually involved in this. So I think they partnered with Andy Murray, and then they got in touch with Rangers. And fair enough, they must have offered Rangers quite what we would like to think a good deal at the time. But I don't think the partnership with Crystal has been a massive success. And again, Bobby might move on to this in a bit, but one of the best examples was the 150th anniversary year, where they kind of hoodwinked us into buying this anniversary top. They're going to wear it at the game. The white one, yes, yeah. Wear it.
Well, the thing with the white one is they couldn't wear it because you
had the game they were going to wear it.
You actually have to register it as an official strip with the SFA or the SP. Whoever you have to register the strip with to say, this is one of our tops, it's in our kind of wear, blue at home, white away, red is the third, whatever it is. But we never actually registered the strip with the governing body to say, by the way, we've got a white strip to do that. So we didn't actually, we weren't allowed to wear it. But that again goes back to the board and stuff like that, and actually running the club properly, know what you're doing. Right, we've got this anniversary top, we need to make sure that we register it with the support with the governing body to make sure I'm actually really able to wear it. And it just never happened.
So that covers that. So moving on, something that I actually genuinely forgot about, and when you're notes trying, it just took me back to the announcement, etc. So we launched a cryptocurrency. Do you want to tell the viewers about that?
So that was, I don't know if the viewers will maybe remember, we partnered up with a company called Bitsy, and that was one of our sponsors. It was one of our kind of approved partners, I think Mr. Bisgrove used to call them. So Bitsy basically became an approved partner. Through that, they brought out this an introduction. It's a type of crypto, so the Rangers fan token is something similar to like Bitcoin or something like that. And Mr. Bisgrove was basically quoted saying the Rangers supporters now have an opportunity to buy Rangers cryptocurrency and access to the cryptocurrency market and stuff. And it was the wording of the announcement basically was encouraging Rangers fans to go buy this cryptocurrency. Now, I work in finance, I can tell you that the cryptocurrency is one of the highest risks of investments you can do. It's an unregulated investment, it's sincerely high risk, your money can go up and down like a yo-yo. That cryptocurrency was introduced to the market at 15 US cents, so there was 20 million of these coins put into the market, with the Rangers emblem on it. It's basically Rangers' coin. And if you are a supporter, if you went out and you bought 5,000 of those crypto coins at 15 cents this year, that would have cost you 750 quid. So maybe I just, I love Rangers, I'll buy anything Rangers, a chocolate bar with Rangers on it, a t-shirt, a jumper, anything with Rangers, I'll buy it. And you bought it for 750 quid. On today's level, the value of it the 4th of August was £3.60. So if you bought 750 quid worth of this Rangers cryptocurrency, it's now worth £3.60. And if that's the board, how could we align ourselves with something that you're putting Rangers fans money at risk? When you do investments, if any regulated financial advisor in business, you've got the aspirations, you've got to do a review. 750 quid and you're now worth £3.60. Rangers board are potentially responsible for losing sports money.
That's a lot of money. A quick question on that, and obviously you know a bit more about it than I do. First of all, you would have to do, I would imagine, surely legally you'd have to do due diligence on a project like that. And also, what did Rangers actually do? Did they just go right in and did David Bisgrove just basically go in and launch it? And do you feel as if it was their launch with any prior to launch it? What could go wrong?
It's not something that Rangers should be aligning themselves to at all. Now, we'll be aware of people that are a wee bit more vulnerable than ourselves and maybe not as financially savvy as ourselves, and maybe have a little bit of money put by. And they're die-hard Rangers, they bleed blue, the lines, everything about it is Rangers. So I'll buy it, I've got £1,000 sitting, and that's my life savings. I've got £1,000 sitting, and I want to put it into this Rangers currency because I believe in this. I've read online that you can do so much money. And that £1,000 worth a fiver.
Yeah, that's tragic. I think somebody's actually messaged in saying, how did I get this? So I seen a comment coming in saying, how do we get this? So
maybe they're 85. The Rangers fan token is currently worth 0.0048 US cents.
You've effectively for that money you bought a badge. Total badge.
Not even that hardly. So if anyone's looking to buy it, I would strongly suggest you look at it and maybe think twice.
Cryptocurrency is the highest risk investment you can possibly do, and it is not to be done lightly hearted.
So moving on, what I would see here is moving on, the board, in my opinion, did make a kind of bold decision to appoint Stephen Gerrard as manager.
Yep, fully support that.
And so you have, so this is not just all real negative about the board at the moment.
That was the board under the kind of thing.
Yeah, so we appoint Stephen Gerrard to be a manager, but then you know, within a kind of season or two, against things that can happen behind the scenes that don't make a lot of sense. So what gives me insight into that, Ryan?
So obviously, thankfully we won the 55th championship. It was an important year for the club, because everyone was going on the other side of the city. So it was basically one that we had to win. You know, thankfully the club and the board and Gerard and the staff and the team and the players,
Everybody bought it, yeah.
they delivered. They go out. It was an invincible season. Records are broken all over the place, you know, defensive records, goal scorers. It was fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Unfortunately, we couldn't be there to see it in person because of what was going on in the world at the time. And with fighting Gerard, I remember Gerard was sitting in the main stand, I think. He was sitting with Ali McCoy's, Emma Dodds and Chris Boyd, and they sat there and they were saying things like, this is a platform that we need to launch on, we need to fix the roof while the sun is shining, and this is going to give the opportunity. The club's going to move on to better things, we want to be in the Champions League, we want to be at the top table of Europe, we want to take the club back to where we go. And that's somewhere the board delivered on. John Lundstrom in a free transfer, the fascists like Gallagher a free transfer.
And that effectively was the start of it. Starts going right.
That was when basically there. Now, we think that the club would say, right, okay Steve, thanks for doing what you've done, we believe in you, you brought the club, you came to us in 2018 I think it was, and every year you could see it was further in Europe, higher up in the league, getting closer.
You brought a level of professionalism,
100%.
proper professionalism back to the club.
And pride and passion, you know, you can say all these, you know, buzzwords.
The stories going about at the time, I know it's going to have to track it a wee bit, but the stories are going about at the time, and there was rumours that Rangers were too fit, they were too professional, they were like robots. That's how well Steven Gerrard at that point had got Rangers. So I've got to agree with you there. A lot of people say Malmo, they should have given money after Malmo. He made the point he needed money before it.
Absolutely, because you need time. You need time for players to gel in, you need time for players to bond with their teammates, etc. So
that's the kind of, there was some players brought in that summer, but John Lundstrom, fascists like Gallagher, the only one, and he basically, they gave them nothing.
yeah, and I think, no money. And I think one of the kind of the straw that broke the camel camel's back, perhaps with Gerrard, was Joey Beerman. We were heavily linked with him for months, and he wouldn't cost, it would cost a fair bit. However, he's been on strength to strength, and I think there's rumours about him going for 30, 40, 50 million. And also, and again, off the topic of that as well, we could give you the same example with somebody like Lewis Ferguson as well, but that's another one.
Well, Nathan Patterson, for example, was sold that summer for, you know, rumours of up to £15 million. We don't know how the deal was structured, exactly what was paid up front, how much was paid over bonuses and arrears and stuff like that. There was a significant amount of money that came into that club, you know, came into us that basically was ring fenced and put maybe in the manager rebuild. Now, my personal opinion is that the manager sells a player for such amount of money, managers would have access to the vast majority of those funds.
A fair percentage of it, at least, yeah.
Definitely. We're not going to have money earmarked for other things, but my opinion is money goes in, money goes out. And obviously, what we're looking at the notes here, November 2021, Gerrard left. Rumours are falling at the board level, we're backing and stuff. But he quoted the week before saying it was happening, it was settled, they wanted to be here. And first opportunity came for a week ago, and that was him who was doing the road.
There's another point on this I would make, and it might make a small point, but since Gerrard, I don't think a Rangers manager's treated the Rangers old firm game and treated Celtic the way he should do it. I think they've played a lot with a lot of fear. Gerrard, at the time, he basically had an attitude that we're going to be the best, and we're going to, it didn't matter about what team we played against, if we went down to 9 men in Europe and anything, we were out to win. And that went right down, as soon as he left, I think that went right down.
Yeah, that's a great point, Simon, and I totally agree with that. I think you know, he injected that belief that we could go to Parkhead and win, and he did. And
so did we. We all bought in.
Yeah, we all bought in. So Gerrard leaves. Again, fair play to the board. I think that at the time, at least, we were all happy with their point of view. And he had an immediate impact as well. And they did get to survive that season, that year, but something happened.
Before you say the board, well done for appointing Gio took us all the way to Seville.
The worry I've got with this part is what happened. So they're all saying we don't know what was over behind closed doors, right? So what was the promise that Gio was made? Because at that point, if I was in Rockers and I said I'm going to take Rangers, what's your plans? You're going to be the manager, and he said I'm going to try and take as far as I can in Europe. 9 years so we're going to get a Europa final. So what promise you were made to him? Because afterwards, he was then let down.
So and we're going to get that in a wee second, but there was the infamous Australian tour.
So that came in the March
announced around this point, which when you go round again, we've got a dream up.
Well, listen, it's basically they announced that they were going to go for, it was a pre-season tournament across Australia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which would involve a friendly match, an exhibition match against our old firm rivals. And it basically went down like a lead balloon in the supporters base. They would basically be aligning themselves with them. So
yeah, again, it was, in my opinion at the time, we talked about it on the show quite a lot back in the time, I'm sure you remember. But it was basically just, again, we were just making ourselves look foolish, and there was no, well, a lot of this stuff happening at Rangers in the last few years, I just don't think they actually understand the way the fans feel about a lot of things.
So the commercial said, I mean, surely we'd go and have like an opinion group and say, listen guys, we're thinking about doing this, how do you think this is going to go down? And then we'd be told flat out, right, don't do it. But what they have done is they've been in head first and done it, and all it's done is costed money. Because as soon as we pull out that tournament, we've signed contracts to appear, we'll be there, no problem at all, we'll bring the Rangers name to your country, we'll play this tournament. If we break the contract, we breach a contract, we're going to end up in court and we're going to get sued. It's just costing us money,
which has been a hallmark of the last kind of 10 years with Rangers, just court cases, agreements getting broken, agreements getting reached and broken, due diligence. I get okay, so we'll sum it all up at the end, but so again, absolutely fantastic achievement.
Unbelievable. From where we went from 2008 to that, so we know that work, I think, in 2008 a lot with the football and stuff for the time.
I mean, Captain Fans watching some of those games and, fair play. But yeah.
In 2022 we got the decision.
Yeah, I mean, the games, life cycle home, I'll never forget that. It looks like that's going to be a kind of once in a lifetime experience.
That was a speak of your life,
Yeah, so but again, it was a great opportunity for the board and the fans to come together, to do stuff and to celebrate when they're reaching the final. But this is going to sound a horrible thing to say, and people probably jump on it, but it was almost as if the Rangers board were embarrassed we got there.
It
was unexpected, and it was almost like, for the Rangers board, it seemed like it was a bit of a chore.
It was almost like the fans were crying out for a beanbag to Ibrox, and they could have filled 3/4 that. They made the club money.
You could have filled Ibrox out.
But it was almost like, rather than doing something right for the fans, what could possibly go wrong? And it's always like, let's think about what will go wrong rather than think about what we're doing right. And it's they could cause trouble, blah blah blah, this, that, next thing. The club could have made a fortune. We're not going to play our league, one part of that season, we could actually filled the pitch as well as the stands. We played our last game against Hearts at Tynecastle the week before. So the pitch was basically finished for the season, so you could have filled the place.
So many things you could have done.
Absolutely, yeah. But it's not every fan had the opportunity. We obviously travelled to Seville on our numbers, and there was 100,000 or something. It was ridiculous the amount of people that made the effort to get there. There's people who, through family, work commitments, financial, they couldn't get there. So why not do something for our fans at home? And say, listen guys, we're going to open our doors, we want you to take it in, we want you to be here and celebrate it with us.
I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that Rangers were the only club in Europe that season that were in a final that never done a beanbag.
My mate watched it in the Loudon just next to the stadium and said, back to couldn't handle it.
Everybody wanted to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And that's what we do as Rangers fans, we want to always be part of it.
Well, my grievance with this is, whilst this happened that they couldn't get into the stadium, that remember it's your stadium, we own the club, the fans oppose their money there. Whilst this happened, James Bisgrove was the main guy, one of the main guys at the club. These people were, hundreds of tickets were going to friends and family that were making connection with Rangers whatsoever, and people couldn't get their beanbag at Ibrox.
Tickets for those guys that have supported the club through thick and thin, guys that have a lot of money in the club, asking for tickets and told they're there for you.
And that's what my Gers feels again. My Gers wasn't fair to that.
Absolutely.
There's also the issues with the supporters faced, and okay, Rangers were not responsible for these things. They could have done, again, they could have had a bit better partnership with the police or UEFA, but we're not blaming Rangers for what happened inside the stadium. But the reaction to it was...
This is the difference in clubs. A week later, Liverpool played in the Champions League final, and the Liverpool chairman or the Liverpool board said after the game that they would come out and fight for their support, and they would get answers. They fought for their support and they got answers. Rangers done a
Questionnaire.
Yeah, somebody said roof the yes or low, were you there? I spent a good hour filling in, you know.
Never done anything to UEFA, UEFA never had to respond to anything.
Frankfurt was a class action against UEFA for what happened. They were the same as us, they had no water in the stadium. There was the hottest place in Europe that day, on the record there was actually, you know, factually the hottest place in Europe that day, so there was guys literally in the stadium collapsing around me. There was no guy just a couple of seats down, and they literally passed it. And we were trying to shout, you know, and I'm whistling and shouting, and go, oh, get first aid over here and stuff like that. Oh, okay.
And this is a grievance I've got with Rangers Road massively, is they don't care about the supporters. They said they were going to do something about it, they never done anything.
It was mad, but I've said that it's written in here, it's a miracle not to die that day. A miracle not to die that day. Somebody could have passed their dead. Seriously, that's how severe that thing was. It was bad.
Because I remember listening to Talk Sport, see when I heard the UEFA's apology to Lord's Liverpool. That's how a board should run their club.
So, see, the honest with you, the lack of water, it was almost like crowd control. That's what it felt like to me when I was there, was they've almost like got us under control here, because we get, you know, obviously a few guys that enjoyed themselves during the couple of years and stuff, but when you got there, you were dehydrated, you didn't have the same enthusiasm for the matches when you first walked in the doors.
Yeah.
So that's what it felt. It was awful, and I felt the board let us down on the back of that. We really should have done something about that, because it was dangerous. It was really dangerous what happened.
And you're absolutely right, it was a miracle that no one died.
Yeah.
So on the back of the Europa League run all the way to the final, we also sold a couple of players that season. We got a lot of money in for guys like Massey and Rebo, as well as we already banked the money from Hearts in the year before. And also on top of that as well, we made tens of millions for the European run. Not as much as the Champions League, we all know that. However, if you combine the money we made for the Europa League run and the player sales that season, you're talking, we worked out the show once a couple of years ago, they're talking 50 to 60 million.
I think when I worked out, the average of it, people were about £35 a head, 50,000 tickets. I think I made about £5 million tickets. That's before you get the early money. UEFA would give you money for appearing in the round and stuff like that as well.
And you got that in the Europa League as well. You get like 150 grand for each point you get as well in the Europa League. So you get 10 points. You get 10. I think if you win, you get $500,000 or something for each game. And if you get a point, you get 150 grand or something.
I mean, they must have made plenty of money, because they didn't need to do a beanbag, they didn't need merchandise, they didn't need to do the things that fans wanted, so they must have plenty of money.
Of course. So that's somewhere we bought. So it's £14 million spent. Obviously we just spoke about the amount of money we brought in, but actually what we spent was only £14 million. Which is a lot of money. Obviously you look at that and say, £14 million is a fair transfer budget, you know. But obviously considering the money come in. Ben Davies, Brent Van Yilmaz, Abby Matondo and Antonio Cholak. You tell me if any of those players have done fantastically well for Rangers?
I mean, Matondo's a strange one, because he comes on and does well, and then you don't really see him, and then he gets injured. And it's just injuries. We'll get to that in a minute. So then, because we'll get into some comments and some summaries and that done. So
the shambles with the travel, the company, the travel partner trying to get guys the PSV playoff, ended up couldn't do it, couldn't source a plane, couldn't source a plane at a decent price. Rather than left all the official Rangers travellers having to find their own travel to get to PSV. That's the board again aligning themselves with a company who shouldn't do.
Who done the due diligence? Who was responsible? Did anybody get lose their job in it?
Or should the club absorb the costs if you can't find a plane at a decent price? Should the club absorb the costs to get the plane? Alright, maybe the plane does cost too much money, but should the club subsidise that to make sure that our fans get there? To make sure that we're providing the service that we meant to provide for our fans?
It's just another example. Then Rangers, we qualified for the Champions League for the first time in a well-documented period, and Rangers set the price higher than any other club in Europe.
Huge package. To be paid up front as well.
This is a club who's constantly, the season before, saying that the main reason that Rangers go to the Europa final was the support. The support was unrivaled to any other support in the world. This is how they thank them.
So we said the match package. Now, if you've got 4 season tickets, you've got in a stereotypical scenario, a mum and dad and 2 kids, right? And you pay, set your scene, you're probably talking about £1,000. Seriously, £2,000 up front, that'll be, and if you don't pay it by this date, we're going to sell your tickets to somebody else. Right? When they sold those tickets to somebody else, this is what they did it. was in the introduction of off-site hospitality. So all the hospitality boxes were filled, your Cooper Suite, the Thorntons, Club Europes, all these suites, they're all filled up with hospitality and corporate supporters there. And what they did was some of the tickets, rather than putting on to my chairs, which is what they should have done, given the opportunity there, so taking tickets away from my chairs members, they then done this off-site hospitality to make more money. So the board will argue that we're making more money off it, and I can understand the board's arguing the fact that we are asking to make more money, and that's what the board's there, opposed to make club money. Not at the expense of taking tickets off for regular fans and not doing what they're supposed to. The worst part about it is they went to the Radisson Red. The Radisson Red was, at that time was owned by Chris Traynor, who at that point in time was Celtic's second biggest shareholder. So they're taking tickets off for regular fans, basically robbing regular fans the opportunity to go to the club in the Champions League for the first time in how many years, to take them all to a hotel which is owned by a massive Celtic shareholder.
Yeah, and there's that phrase again, anyone, everyone.
And that's it. How is that working? How is that taken away from a working class man? Where's that for the club for anyone, everyone? It's bonkers. It's bonkers the fact that they're doing it in the first place, but even bonkers the fact that they're doing it at hotel.
Yep.
It's mental. So how can the board justify doing that?
So that's not just, again, another example. Rangers started something in the league a little bit, moving on to the autumn of 2022. A couple of draws, if I remember correctly, and then Gio is dispensed off and he's back from staff. And it's been more money. Michael Beale on the back of a decent start to the season at QPR and popping into the 11th for a pint and getting a photograph.
Up the members' lounge, up in the director's box, all cuddles and stuff like that.
And Michael Beale's appointed manager. Now, again, devil's advocate here, I don't think at the time there was any sort of backlash against the appointment of Michael Beale. I think they were all taken in by Michael Beale himself personally.
I think a lot of people were sold these sales pitch that he does.
Yeah.
You know, he's a great salesman.
That's his biggest attribute.
A great talker. You've sacked a manager who's taken us to a European final for a guy who's had 22 first team games for QPR.
Yeah.
That's his managerial experience.
And, as you pointed out in your notes here, there's been a couple of changes at Rangers in that time frame. Douglas Park resigns, John Bennett takes over, James Bidwell gets his promotion, but always great work in the last couple of years. Ross Wilson leaves to go to Notts Forest, and it seems like Michael Beale, the inexperienced Michael Beale, has actually got more responsibility than any Rangers managers have in recent times.
He's been given basically carte blanche in the transfers, the makeup of the club. He's the manager, the first team coach, the director of football, the recruitment manager, all in one go.
He's effectively been promoted for failure. Yeah. That's my opinion. I say, if you remember this without sounding like a great face, so I was expressing these concerns about a year ago. That I thought he was the right guy for the job, and another of Rangers platforms who were run by people that are friendly with James Bisbell by the time I was getting banned, and they didn't know banned, but I was getting deleted for it, because apparently this guy was the best thing that could happen to Rangers Football Club. Yeah. As soon as it hit the fan, he was gone. Yeah. And we'll talk about that later on in the stadium.
Yeah, so moving on to summer of 2023, Rangers are sued. This is the first time I've heard this, so well done to Ryan. Rangers are sued for $338,000 over dispute with cashless payment facilities at kiosks and arrivals. Yeah, so that's another example of where we take the court,
breaching contracts.
Yeah.
Breaching contracts that the board signed.
Yeah. So we spent a lot of money. Well, we did Michael Beale a fair bit of money. Yeah.
Successful managers.
But we also see a couple of players leave the club after running their contracts as well. So again, it just seems like kind of indifference or that planning.
Many times have you heard the term player trading model? Rangers are the club that go on the very most about the player trading model, probably the worst at it.
Yeah.
There's Alfredo Morelos, who got like a £15 million bid to deal for, walked out the door for absolute hee-haw after sitting in his arse for the last season of his contract.
Right? Same with Ryan Kent. Ryan Kent at his peak, I know people fell out with him, but at his peak he was a good player.
Ryan Kent, when I was at the game over in Dortmund, Ryan Kent was unbelievable. And I'm talking like unbelievable.
Yeah, I remember.
It was incredible how good he was. There's some games you just look at that, he's the best player in this club. Why is he not doing it more? I think Leeds were obviously always booted and running about being interested in him. Remember we played the friendly against Real Madrid at Ibrox just at the end of COVID coming, wasn't it? And beating them 2-1. And all the Real Madrid players were going, who's this guy Ryan Kent? And they were raving about basically saying, should be looking at him and stuff. And a lot of times, if you think back to the day when I was at Real Madrid reserve teams, if you actually look at the lineup of Real Madrid's team compared to Real Madrid's team now, a lot of guys like your Valverde's, your Rodrigos and stuff like that, guys that actually now made it into the first team.
Did you not win that game?
It's the mismanagement of the, well, mismanagement is a hard term to use it. It's the poor performance of the player trading model. The fact you're letting millions of pounds worth of assets walk out the door.
It's the strategic planning which is not there.
Yeah, it's no way. Like what they did with Bassey, they nailed it with Bassey. Bassey's the prime example of the player trading. They've got to follow that. And when bid comes in over a certain amount of money now, I would sell Jack Butland. Right, see if a bid came in excess of £12 million, £15 million, I would sell Jack Butland in a heartbeat.
You've got to.
100% to sell. And I know that's, oh, you can't sell Butland, Butland's the best player we've got and stuff like that. There's a lot of goalkeepers in the world. We lost McGregor, oh, it's terrible, we're going to miss him, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Jack Butland, thanks very much, he's a great goalkeeper. There'll be another one. We've got to take the money when the money comes in front of us.
So, fast forward to autumn again. Autumn seems to be the worst time to be a Rangers manager.
Yep.
Michael Beale, his backroom staff, another change at the club. Expensive payoffs for the whole management team.
Yep.
And also at that time, just not long after it, Jim McAllister is sacked from the club as well. So another change to the backroom staff. Michael Beale's entire backroom staff are let go, sacked, and again it's going to come to just big payoff.
More money, another big payoff for another manager, having to go out the recruitment drive. What does that do at the football department? Having to do all these things, we need to then invest in the new managers, players and stuff. And then the thing had come out, it came out around about the Christmas of 2023 that Jim had actually lost his job in the summer of that year. And that was quite a lot to do with actually the performance of the team, and actually a lot of guys tell me that Beale lost the dressing room on the back of actually not supporting Jim when Jim lost his job.
That was a heavy rumour at the time.
The players expected the manager to actually step in and defend the kit man and actually support him and stuff like that, because although he's not a member of the playing staff, he's very much seen as one of the boys and stuff, and it was a shame. But Jim quite rightly took Rangers to an employment tribunal where a settlement was made of £13,000. Rangers never defended themselves in court that day. Right?
That's right, never turned up.
Never showed up to defend themselves in court, which tells you what, they should never have sacked. It should never have happened. So they knew they were wrong, so they had to settle that out. But that's a guy who's a lifelong, die-hard Rangers supporter who worked under Jimmy Bell and basically was there to support Jimmy's legacy and make sure that the things that Jimmy had done, the standards that Jimmy uphold within the dressing room, within the player and staff, those standards were upheld. And he was basically removed from his position wrongly.
And different. So
shocking by the board. Absolutely
shocking. And the fact that they didn't, defend it speaks volumes. As you said, absolutely right. Yeah. So in more recent times, Clement comes in
this summer. Yep. So this is where it's all starting to come to a head, and this is why we're sitting here right now.
Yep. So we'll get to the comments shortly. So in more recent times, Clement comes in. Quick summary: wins the League Cup, closes the gap on Celtic. So papers over some cracks. We're looking strong for the league. Towards the end of last season, we collapsed, and then behind the scenes again, there's been a bit of a collapse at the club as well.
I would publicly say I do not blame the manager for any way, shape or form in what's happened here. The players that the manager's brought in, I believe, have been good players. Cortez, the jury's still out on him. He needs to get a bit better physically, Cortez, but I think there's a talent in there, certainly. Diamandi, I think, has been a great signing for us, to be honest. I think he's going to come really good. I think you'll start to see as he gets a bit older. I think Diamandi will be a great player with better players around him. I think if you put better players around him, I think you'll start to see the best at a wee deal there. So I don't blame the manager in there, but I think the MO from the manager this year, and what's pretty obvious, is he's been told to shrink the wage bill. And I think when John Berwick came out and he was obviously giving us the update in the stadium fiasco, he was talking about how the club was losing £10 million and this can't carry on and we can't be sacking managers every single autumn and stuff. But if a club's losing £10 million, one of the first things you need to do is shrink your wage bill. You need to shrink your outgoings. You need to look at the money that you're spending out the way and shrink that. And that's been basically done with the wage bill, with likes of Roof, away, 30 grand a week plus, Goldson, the highest earner, 30 odd grand a week, Lundstrom, 25 grand a week rumoured. So there's guys that be basically, they've shrunk it, absolutely shrunk it.
Yeah.
Rumours are not playing Hadji one more game because he's going to get a wage rise and stuff, which is mental. How and how does that affect the team, the performance of the team? You know,
A lot
calibre?
of these guys will be pals as well as the same. Playing for Rangers will be pals, and if your pal's not getting a game and they think he's getting harshly treated, I'm a great believer in guys like Cantwell and Hadji. If they're at the club, they should be playing.
100%. Yep.
Especially if unless you've got a better quality of player that you can play.
Which we don't.
We don't have that now, and the biggest problem with Rangers, in my opinion, is the midfield.
Yep.
We're not far off in it, having a good midfield, but we need at least one. We need a number 10 basically.
Yeah.
And playing with a weaker player to prove a point. I blame the manager for that. To be honest, I think that's bad man management. I think you should be dealing with getting points and getting.
The manager might be told he's not picking. That might be the manager's instruction from upstairs. Don't pick him.
There's also the story I've read online recently that the manager's been influenced with, or how the manager influences his decisions is on the sports science teams. So they're basically saying a player can play 80 minutes, 70 minutes, and that's how he's playing.
I believe that.
Yeah, I think in this day and age there's probably a lot of truth in that. So we all witnessed the statement, the interview statement by John Bennett, which, if in my opinion, and you guys would agree or disagree, but he just seems so detached and so far removed from an actual supporter. He basically came on and was 20 minutes of, you know, everybody else was to blame apart from him or the board. Also on top of that as well, he was using words like decanting and stakeholders decanting and all this, and it was like, you know, it was what club in the world comes out 5 days before the season starts and basically says we're gobs for the season ahead. Do you know?
100%.
And it's just obviously we haven't even spoken about the disaster at Ibrox at the moment with the Copeland Road. It's an absolute disaster, and it's just for me, if ever the situation at Ibrox was summed up in an event, it's been this Copeland Road.
See, the saving grace for me, I'm a season ticket holder, I'm a supporter, but I'm also a customer, right? And I've bought a product from somewhere and it's not been delivered, right? I'm now sitting at the Celtic end of the stadium in the East Stand, right behind the goals, away up the back, right? See, when Robin Propper scored his own goal last week, I didn't even know it was Robin Propper that scored the own goal. I thought it was a Motherwell player that scored, and I swear my mother's life, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not sitting here saying I've got the greatest eyesight in the world, I don't. But see the fact that I don't know who's scoring the goals in the stadium. When I'm paying for a ticket, right, I pay $700 or something like that for a club day ticket because I want that's where I want to sit in the stadium. I like my seat, so I paid for a product, right?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
And I've been delivered something below that value. So I'm a customer,
yeah.
And I'm asking, what's happened here? And see if you can give me an adequate explanation, right? I want you to come out and tell me we ordered the steel at the wrong date, we found out the foundations were wrong, we found the space, all these bullshit rumours that are going about. Tell me the truth.
I felt as if he was speaking to the supporters like he was an authority, like a school headmaster speaking to young kids.
Aye.
Trying to use posh words and everything else.
100%.
And I also
Yeah,
think
definitely.
it was half an hour that could have been done in 2 minutes.
Aye.
He kept repeating it, and what killed me was the fact that all it boiled down to was, it's not the first time it's happened to a club, it won't be the last, and we're decanting to Hampden. Now, if you look back to a couple of years before, when we got to Europa League final, one of the biggest influences for the home game was the atmosphere at Ibrox.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
Yeah.
There was something special about a Thursday night at Ibrox.
Yeah.
Right? Under the lights. Something absolutely magical and special.
Yeah.
And I mean, fair play to the fans that turned up on Tuesday night. We try to create the atmosphere. We can't help refereeing decisions, but one of the biggest factors for me for the lack of Rangers' performance in Tuesday night was just the strangeness of playing.
I think we win that. See if that's at Ibrox on Tuesday, we win that.
I don't think there's any doubt. Obviously, with hindsight, etc.
Yeah.
So it's all ifs and buts in it.
Yeah.
But if you were to put the statistics down and say, right, Rangers have went away in their first European qualifier, we've scored the last minute goal, we're coming back to Ibrox, one each, we've got pretty much a full strength team. I think we're only missing one or two players. You know, you're at Ibrox on a Tuesday night, home stadium, you've got to play in a second or third place, Dynamo Kiev, you've got to win the game to go to the next. But I fancy Rangers for that. Of course you would.
And it's going to be a full house at Ibrox as well. And in the last week or two, again, this is just the elite group suing Rangers over ending their agreement moving to Castore. Again, more court case fees, more lawyer fees, more settlement fees.
It's still going on. We're back in court next week, because it's still going on.
So the big thing for me, right, just whilst we don't cover on some of these points, is why do we never find out who's responsible? And why we got told recently that because of the stadium problem that somebody got the sack.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
The only person that's left that we can see you know, publicly is Bisgrove.
Aye, who's getting the sack?
But his aim always went to a job in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Rangers fans would calm down a wee bit if they were transparent and spoke to us and said, listen,
The truth.
this guy get demoted or got the bullet, or there's talk behind the scenes of blaming Bisgrove, right, that's fine,
Yep.
but who done it and who done these mistakes, and they've got to court again, as you're saying this week.
But he's left his job, went to another job. It's easy to blame the guy who's not here anymore.
Aye. So who's responsible for these, and what action's been taken to stop it from happening again? Because you just mentioned a court case and now we're on to another one.
Yeah. Aye,
When's it going to stop?
It's just court case after court case, and then to sum it all up, this very week, any kind of basic social media search would have found the disgusting language that the Rangers' new head of marketing, commercial director, used against Rangers fans.
Satiric and bigoted languages.
Yeah, and any kind of basic due diligence, not even due diligence, just we call it having a nosy. Do you know what I mean? Just if anyone at Rangers, if anyone who made this appointment just had a nosy, do you know what I mean? If it's not due diligence, it's just have a nosy. They would have seen this.
This is the difference with Rangers and Celtic just now. It wouldn't have happened the other way about.
Oh, no chance.
As simple as that. In fact, it was addressed within 48 hours. It's not good enough.
But much does it cost us again?
Exactly, it's not good
because
enough.
he's been terminated his contract.
Aye.
Guarantee he's sitting there going, "Oh, pay me up."
He's probably getting paid for it on
He's
his
probably
time.
just thought, "Pay me up, then I'll go away."
Somebody at Rangers has basically said that, hush, basically you're sacked and you'll get paid your money.
Aye, it's another probably, you know, it's probably not a fortune, but at the same time, it's still,
it's
you
money
know,
after money. It's
money
like,
after money. Aye.
You know, this court case is good. That's coming out of Phil Clement's budget.
Now the story as well is the guys that do the recruitment are all kind of pro Celtic as well, because the question I would ask is, was this guy genuinely the best person for the job? How many people were offered the job? How many people applied for the job? Who made the decision? Again, back to what I said a minute ago, who takes the downfall for it?
Yeah, who's responsible?
Exactly.
No.
So,
I don't
yeah,
know.
so that's quite a lot. So thanks for being with us. Sorry, Ryan.
No, I'm just the thing about it is that what we're sitting here today, we're trying to emphasise that all these things that are going wrong has cost us money. Decanting to Hampden has cost us money. You know, all these things, it's costing us millions, and it's basically coming out the manager's budget.
Yeah.
And if it comes out the manager's budget, it affects the team.
Affects
the team. We're not winning trophies. We're not happy.
Yeah.
If we were in a pub anywhere in the world talking about Rangers and you said, well, I've got so many £1 million, I'm going to invest it in the Rangers, the first thing we'd all imagine is you put the money into the players.
Yeah.
Because if whatever happens on the park is ultimately, we all love our seats and Ibrox, and we all love the things that come around with Rangers, we love the scripts and all that, and the culture and the history, but we want the team on the park to be the best. And that's been affected by all these points that we're making.
But besotted by this player trading model. And it's
not
like,
working.
Doesn't even exist.
but the thing is that, like, yes, it does, you can make money. Calvin Bassey we spoke about is an example of how you can make money from a player trading model, right? If we bought Lawrence Shankland in January and paid £5 million for Lawrence Shankland in January, do we win the league and go straight into the Champions League? Right, it might have cost us £5 million, but
But we make it back.
we're going to make £45 million by getting straight into the Champions League.
Yeah, I don't think so. What the one word that I'm thinking in my head when I'm looking through all these issues, not every single one, the majority of these are all avoidable.
Yeah.
Avoidable issues.
Certainly.
Do you know what I mean? That anyone with, you know, you would think not anyone, right? But you would think that with a little bit of strategic planning, a little bit of, you know, nous, a little bit of, you know, due diligence.
Just being good at your job.
Not even
Just being good at your job.
I think even being decent. I mean, the Australian one. I mean, even being a Rangers supporter, or even having that, you know, understanding the fans. Like, it just seems that everything, a lot of things on your notes, Ryan, just be avoidable.
The whole point of what I was making earlier on, right, and it's exactly what Gordy's saying, right. Now, Martin Bain done this years ago, and they've done it again with this. We don't want Rangers supporters or Rangers people being part of the club. For a very good source, that I've been told is when Derek Johnston, who's a Rangers legend and one of Rangers' greatest ever players, he's also a gentleman and a guy that loves the club. When he was banned for Ibrox, I was told that James Bisgrove didn't even know who he was. He was just an employee banned.
What did he get banned for?
No, apparently for drinking a glass of red wine in corporate.
Phone the police.
But
Phone the
the
police.
thing I'm
Jesus
saying with that
Christ.
is, that's exactly what Gordy's saying. A Rangers supporter would know that, any football supporter would know in Britain that you don't want to be tarred with Celtic Football Club because of the allegations or the crimes that they've committed in the past.
Yep. You don't want to fly with the crows because you get shot with the crows.
We jumped into that as if it was a great deal.
Aye.
And behind the scenes there were still people saying afterwards when it got cancelled, if you remember, it's actually a really good deal, the fans don't realise it. That's how they view us, that we're wrong and they're right.
Yeah, there was a lack of understanding. So I guess at this point in the conversation on the Gers TV channel, we're putting this out there and we're asking you, what do you think? What's your opinion? And we're not saying, you know, anything against anyone on a personal level. All we're doing is saying, it looks like we need answers.
We just want better. We just want better performance. We want better. We want these things to stop happening that cost the club money, that cost the manager money, players, which has cost us matches, which has cost us trophies.
One of the things I would ask that the club do, they probably won't do it, they're going to say they've got an EGM coming up in a few months' time. The EGM isn't worth even attending anymore, because the questions that get asked are always questions about pies and stuff, and players' names being pronounced wrongly. Don't get me wrong, we do that as well. This is an example. The Rangers board haven't spoke. Videos that come out for half an hour and tell you nothing. I think for the first time ever they should come out and be completely transparent. And see if John Bennett's video, for example, last month came out and it was a 1 minute video and they went, this is a total fuck up, I'm sorry.
Aye.
I would have a lot more respect for him.
Yeah, Steele's not arrived. In hindsight, we shouldn't have started the project, but we've started it
It's
now.
my fault, or
We'll really apologise, and we'll learn. You know, it's like a Tavernier interview.
Aye.
We'll learn from our mistakes, and we'll never do better in the
If they
future.
just came out and had a proper transparent chat with the Rangers support, whether it be the association, whether it be something that we're planning the news, trying to get everybody together. Any way at all, I just think that we need to know what's going on, because there's wee rumours going about it's worse than we think, and that's the kind of scaremongering we're getting with
There's a
people.
lot of scary numbers kicking about.
If it's worse than we think, there's no support in the world that will back you like Rangers. Tell us.
But tell us, we'll get your back. We'll always get your back. But you need to tell us what's going on. You
And
need
if
to tell us
everything's
what's
alright and the plan's got to, there's a plan that we don't see, tell us again. And if there's anything we're saying today that's wrong with this, and any of our comments, if any of the research is wrong, tell us and we'll apologise and we'll correct it.
Aye, yeah, because I'm only pulling this off the internet, and the internet doesn't always tell me the truth. And I'm pulling this a lot from memory and knowledge and stuff like that. I'm not sitting here saying that I know absolutely everything there is, and I don't. I'm just.
I mean, a big gripe for me is the way that the Rangers supporters clubs have been treated in the last 10, maybe the last 30 years, but the last 10 years, you're part of one, Ryan, right? I'm no part of a supporters club, I've got a lot of pals in it. I don't think Rangers want them. I think Rangers would quite happily get rid of everyone they knew and just do their own tickets.
I think so. I mean, the cut went, I think it was at the start of the season, the cut went from 30% of the away tickets going to the away supporters club to the 20%.
Yeah.
No consultation whatsoever. This is what's happening. We're taking 10% of your tickets off you. Cheers.
Yeah. So I read out a comment from one of the fans of the show, Andrew Toner. So basically striking, so we're in a royal mess. The successive boards since 2012 are the issue, not Philip Clement. Successive boards who create mess year on year, like appointing Beale and allowing him to buy terrible players, etc. The board are mainly the board are mainly funding managers with no commercial sense how to manage a football club. He's saying that we should start boycotting matches and kick the board out. Honestly, Andrew, I can't see that ever happening. But it must mean a lot to you if you're saying that. We're a major investor, and Andrew's saying we're about 50 million, probably a little bit more behind Celtic right now.
So, on that, the first thing I would say is I don't disagree, I don't decry anybody's opinion, but we're not trying to get a lynch mob or anything, this is not what we're trying to do. And I think you need to be careful as well. Kicking people out, first of all, you can't really just kick them out anyway. No. You need to be realistic. The guys that own the money, and the guys that own the club, they basically, unless somebody else comes in with money, they don't go. And you don't want to be, it shouldn't be personal attacks on people either. I just think they've done their best and it's not been good enough.
But you look at, right, nobody can disagree that John Bennett isn't a lifelong Rangers supporter, right?
Yeah. But
he needs to bring people in around him that was going to help him, right? So when Gerrard became the manager of Rangers, first time Gerrard ever became a manager, he had Gary McAllister next to him, who is an experienced Scotland international, Glasgow boy from
knows the club,
knows what the certain things about the club and stuff like that. He will understand, be able to explain that. He brought in VTC as well, Tom Culkin. Brought him in as well, a fantastic coach, widely recognised coach, fantastic, well liked, got on absolutely brilliant. And he brought in Michael Beale as well, who was a highly regarded football coach at that point. Yeah. So he brought in a power team that helped him, and they delivered obviously the 55th championship for the club.
Yeah, it was basically Liverpool under 23 set up management team.
And that's what a great manager will do. A person who's run it will bring in the right staff.
And back to what you're saying, right, we don't have a CEO in, so John Bennett's probably possibly is trying to do too many jobs and is not doing any of them good. I really don't know. But why have we not got a CEO? Why are we not getting this addressed? what's taking so long with Ibrox? Is Ibrox going to be ready in September? The fans want to know what's going on.
Yeah, I think we just want a little bit of honesty and transparency. You hit the nail on the head, Simon, and yourself, Ryan, as well. If the chairman's out and says, listen, we've messed this up, we apologise, we're going to work day and night and day to get this fixed as soon as possible, you would have a bit more respect for it, and you would say, do you know what, we all make mistakes, they've been honest.
You'd be angry for about 2 minutes and you'd go, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
sorry goes a long way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Did any of you honestly watch the whole John Bennett interview? I didn't.
I watched it all, and
I couldn't get any further
he
15 minutes.
He spent a lot of time praising the SFA.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Who've been out, who over the SFA, the SPL went out their way to make Rangers' lives hell over the last 20 years. To be perfectly honest, but it was all partnerships. It was he spent more time praising the SFA, if I remember correctly, than actually praising the Rangers.
I think he's obliged to do that because see, by the way, what if the SFA turned around and says to us, "You're not getting Hampden"? Where would it going?
Well, there was talk after they talk about we're going to go down to England and all that.
Aye. So Andrew just followed up his message just to say that so it's not a personal attack, which is fair enough. Yeah, we didn't say that, Andrew. It's just with things like boycotts, it's hard to promote boycotts, etc.
Share your frustration,
but honestly, that is your frustration, and we share that frustration, mate. But
we need to
he's
be
also
careful
saying
how we do things on the channel.
Yeah. So he's also saying that the board we need change. Basically, current board incapable. And the biggest issue for him has been the stadium mess, which has highlighted the incompetency. We need a major investor. I think at Rangers we need a major investor. John Bennett has, people will say he's put in 23 million to the club. I don't like that phrase because he's loaned it at a profit of 6%. So he's not gifted Rangers 23 million. However, he has put in. You could argue he has put in 23 million. He's not gifted it. He will get it back. It's plus 6%, but. If he's not put in that 23 million...
Why are we needing these loans?
There's a good argument maybe the club is up for sale in the background and this is what they're trying to do.
Yep.
But who...
Tell us that
I mean, if the club's up for sale, for example, exactly about Gordy Sadie, why would it not be public knowledge? Is that something that gets kept? I don't know. But nobody's going to buy a club when the stadium's not ready.
No. But they're basically, the whole thing about the club being up for sale is the revenue, all the revenue streams that they're trying to create. Edmondson House, the new G51 sports bar that's been created, the soccer academies, the women's football team, the B team, all these different, they're my Gers, season tickets, Castle, all these different income revenues, and you present it and somebody, it's going to be a rich Arab, it's going to be a Yanker, it's going to be somebody like that that are going to look and go, by the way, that looks a really good proposition. You've got a right good structure here where there's money coming in for X, Y and Z. There's no debt in your stadium, there's no debt in your car park, your training ground.
Everything's run well.
There's no securities over everything. All your debts are all getting paid in time. You're up to date with the tax man. This looks really good. I fancy this. How much do you want for it? And they'll buy it. And it's somebody who's probably wanting a cut. Maybe they're somebody who's maybe not got quite the English Premiership money, but they've got a lot of money and think, well, do you know what? I'll take the next best thing.
There's been American investment in St Johnstone and Hibs, I believe, and they're trying to get them Motherwell as well. So there's people out there looking.
But that's what I think the clubs do. I think they're trying to create a proposition that will look to somebody and say, by the way, that looks really good, I'm going to take that.
Which, by the way, see the guy said, listen, we're supporters. I know a guy that's not on the board, but a very well-known Rangers fan. I won't quote who he is, but I always remember him telling me we'd never want to be the Rangers chairman because he doesn't want to be thrown out with fans. Doesn't want to be going to games and people shouting abuse and he's arguing with him back. So maybe the guys do want out, which is fair enough as well, but our big thing is speak to the fans. Doesn't need to be our channel, but anything, but speak to the fans and come out and be honest and tell us where our Rangers Football Club do now.
See if they are going to sell it and it has to go and it's going to make, please, for the love of God, put it into the right hands. Do not put it into the wrong hands.
Well, just on that note, we had a comment come in for Frank Bernardi. We've also got David Cameron watching, so if you're the ex-Prime Minister, let us know. But Frank Bernardi is saying that the club isn't too much of a mess to attract an investor.
Probably at this point.
I would agree with that.
Today, at this moment in time, aye. But I think there's work in progress that they're trying to make things better.
That's a good point for Andrew Toner if somebody's wanting to read it.
Yeah, I'll do it. So Andrew's come back again. Another good point, Andrew. So not enough effort to develop youth. Ever since we were demoted, when we could have blooded youngsters, but current, looking back, we signed all these duds like Sandaza, etc., rather than really. So I see your point there, and we need to get better at training young talent. Here's the thing. Here's David Cameron. sorry, mate.
Is that one? I don't get what it means.
There used to be a Prime Minister called David Cameron.
Oh, aye.
Right, okay, anyway.
Right, so getting back to Frank's point, we've not
invested or spent enough money on the youth setup. And you know, the biggest point, I mean, where's Alex Lowry? Is Alex Lowry
He
injured?
scored last, 2 nights ago. He scored
By
last
the way,
night.
he scored an
beauty.
absolute rasper against, was it Clyde?
Aye.
In the Challenge Cup.
It's a lower level, right? But there's no doubt whatsoever that boy's got ability.
Aye.
Right, so why are we not making players better?
Yeah.
Because that's an exact point. Alex Lowry is fit.
I mean, could Alex Lowry do a better job than Tom Warnes in the first team right now?
It's arguable.
You never know. You won't know unless you try
You'll
it.
never find it. I think the thing with Lowry, I think there's a great player in there, but I think there's a lot of go. I think he needs to be the superstar. I think he's that kind of...
Maybe, but that's man management, because the one great thing about Walter Smith is he could get a hold of players and say, listen, everybody would say don't touch Gascoigne. He got Gascoigne and he made him feel special. You need to have that. Yep. Why is there so many players angry with the management of the club now? That's what I'm wondering about. What is it they're angry about?
Probably broken promises over contracts.
Yeah.
So a comment here for... Sorry Ryan, on you go to finish.
Crack on.
So we comment here from Mark Bell. Like many others, I honestly thought when we won 55 and the following year's Europa final we were back in a position of strength. Now he's really worrying about where we are now and all the mistakes. Just looks lacklustre and devoid of ideas. As we all do, Mark, we hope you're wrong. No offence to you, we hope you're wrong. You hope you're wrong.
It's another good point.
But it's another good point that we're worse off. He's arguing, and it's a fair point to make, that when we come up after being Division 3-2-1, we now arguably might be in a worse position on and off the field.
Football can change, it can all change very quickly, right? I mean, for an example, we've got a big game against St Johnstone tonight. St Johnstone have beat us in the cup.
A few times,
A few times quite recently.
Bloody goal he scored, remember that? Mate?
So
Yeah.
Awful.
you need to get it, and they've also won cups in the last couple of years, so you need to give them plenty of credit and you can't underestimate them. So you need to remember that football can change quite quickly. A bad result for Rangers tonight, and the Rangers supporters are saying,
Well,
Stick one of that mob on the 2nd of September, we're all laughing.
well, that's a
and
thing.
that's what I was going to say to you, there about a couple of wins and a wee run in the Europa Cup, and the fans start to calm down. We're in no way having any personal attacks at the board.
We're sitting here
As
just
people.
now saying we're worried.
Aye, as people, because we understand that they're Rangers people, but it's no right what's been done.
If it's just one or two things, then you go, do you know what, mistake's a mistake. But Ryan, all your notes here are absolutely fantastic.
There's probably more. I get one point.
There'll be more.
These are just the public ones. The ones
There'll
we
be
know
more
about.
out there. There'll be stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we're
So
not privy to.
I think all we're really saying at this point is, at the moment, if we take everything together and combine it all, it's causing concern.
Yeah. We're worried. We just don't want to see what happened again.
Yeah.
And at this moment in time, that's the doomsday scenario that...
Because you bet your bottom dollar, every club in Scotland's wanting that to happen. They want us to go back down again.
And all the people that because this thing about we would never forget our enemies and all that, and then started to repay them and be pally with them and all that. We need to remember that everybody wants to see the Rangers falling. We can still pull this back, and football-wise we can still pull it back, but the club, in my opinion, from the top, needs leadership, and it needs leadership now.
Yeah.
If we've got a CEO getting appointed, get him appointed on Monday.
Yeah, and I think we'll maybe come to the end of the show very short. We haven't been on there
We've got
for
a
a
couple
long
of
time,
comments
but I was
here.
going to read out. So
You want to get 'em?
this one for Andrew. Sorry, so on you go.
Sorry, Nicky, DJ, that one first. Is this a good
Right.
one?
Okay, on you go then.
There is a huge amount of issues from the top to the bottom, and the management all round is a mess.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, we can't. I think that, you know, if anybody wants to come on and phone in or comment and defend the board, then we'll take that and we'll read it out. Of course we will. But he's absolutely right. And Andrew, I think Andrew's coming to a point where he's saying that he's decided not to renew his family season ticket, and he's had it for 35 years due to the current mess at the club.
That's a shame. Sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that, Andrew.
One of
and
the points on that is, sorry for interrupting,
It's
but
okay.
I'll tell you the new, right, see going to Hampden, it's absolutely garbage.
Soul destroying.
Travel,
my dad, so I won't say his name or anything like that, but he's well, he's saying something anyway. But
that was trivia.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Is he now?
Anyway, it's over an hour. Come
I was
on.
like, my 1 minute of fame and you don't give me it.
He phoned me after the game and he said, "Can you tell me? Same as your point. Can you tell me who scored and was it a good goal?"
For the honestly, I swear, I couldn't tell you that. I didn't know that was an own goal.
So
Honestly, I
there
didn't know
you
it was
go.
an own goal. That's how bad it is.
Well, I forgot my glasses and I was in corporate, and I thought it was Scott Wright that scored the goal.
It's always got a wee plug in there, hasn't it? It's always got a wee plug.
I didn't take the specs.
Psych
'cause I was
corporate
in
is
there.
there.
Corporate size changed. You've
I didn't
changed
realise
size.
it was
No one
a
of the
good
people
boy,
anymore.
Tierney. I know, fat cap. I didn't know it was Tierney scored the goal. I'm thinking Scott Wright's all of a sudden became this great player.
Well, the Germany goal.
Aye, that's insane. I think this is on.
He's bald as it, me, Germany.
So,
But I have to say, sorry, the actual match experience for Hampden, for going to the game, transport, getting into the stadium, quality of seats, the food and the pies and all that, everything is garbage until you leave. So I can understand if somebody says I'm
Just
not
know
buying
what we're
it.
accustomed
So
to, is
It's
it?
a lot of money to be disappointed.
always try and find that positive note, a light note to have on this show, and it was funny because I never know where John Bennett gets his communication from, because I asked Si if he was going to the game, and he goes, yeah, of course I am, godly. So I said, where are you sitting? He goes, I'm decanting to corporate.
He's media man, say, aye.
I wish.
Undercover.
Honestly, see, even the corporate, I'm not want to go into too much because I've only been in one section in it, right? But all the guys that I know on the Facebook, a few people were saying to me about that for the chairman's suite and all that, everybody's disappointed with Hampden.
Of course they will.
So it's a lot of money, and it's a hard time for people to live there now. If people can't afford to go to football and decide not to go, I wouldn't decry them for it.
Yeah. So Robbie Munro's saying we are sorry where we were before Gerrard came in, going into the long season. Yeah, I think there's been serious regressions. I mean, this is the team. We still get some players that got to the Europa League final. You know what I mean? Did Scott Wright not start the Europa League final? Not.
Start the Europa League
Aye.
final, aye.
So and
I'll tell you that,
obviously
see if we go to a Europa Cup final again, they would start them again.
he's definitely got a file somewhere with pictures or something. He's definitely got a file somewhere
Aye,
with
the
pictures or something.
Aye.
So yeah, unfortunately, Robbie, we can't really argue with that. Frank Minardi, all successful businesses have good business sense and a great team. We don't have that, so I think we're right.
Spot
we made
on.
that point. Yeah,
Spot on.
the chairman. I mean, maybe you get a bit of sympathy for John Bennett if he's there himself and no one's giving it. He, as a chairman, you've got to rely on those below you to a certain point as well. So if the people below him aren't making the right decisions, then you can feel sorry for him, but at the same time he has to be strong and ask him to leave.
I'll tell you why I don't feel sorry for him, is because as soon as he appointed James Bisgrove as the CEO, the first thing I did done was come on Gers TV and said, that's a major mistake. This guy should not be in any employment with Rangers, never mind at that level. So he's made his bed, he's the leader. If you're the leader of the ship and then you employ people that are not capable of the job, that's your fault.
Yeah.
You can't deny that Bisgrove massively increased the turnover though, which is what his job is.
Well, he did, but at the same time, I've just went through some of the things that he never done.
It's at what cost? It's at
aye.
what cost is it done?
He never maximised the turnover when we were in the Europa Cup final.
Yeah.
Too busy getting his pals tickets.
At what point do you stop selling your soul for profit?
Yeah, so back to what I'm saying is, I don't really feel sorry for John Bennett for the simple reason is he's a leader. He's sacked. I'll guarantee you to have the money that he's got, he's sacked people ruthlessly in the past.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
People that are at the top, you've got to stand the people to get to the top.
So what I'm asking for him personally is to treat Rangers like he would treat his personal businesses and be ruthless and do things right. No emotional, do things right.
Okay. So, we've got any kind of final comments to
There's a couple here, so
to wrap up, and we'll
Nicky D, the board needs leadership and the team needs leadership on the pitch. Who else have we got here? A couple of guys arguing with each other. Yeah, no desire to...
That sums it up,
level.
really, doesn't it? Yeah.
Listen, this is where we are. It's
So
a
here's
shame.
one here, Nicky D is watching from Northern Ireland. The boys are over here in serious disbelief of what's going on at the moment. Totally agree with the Hampden Park comment, nothing beats Cyprus atmosphere. Despite all the disappointment I'm feeling right now, I'll be there cheering the chairs on tonight on the Rangers. That's what I'm saying earlier on. The board needs to give us a clear 2-year plan to get our club back on track. This includes an effort to find a major investor, we just covered that. Some board changes, yeah, I agree with that. With proper commercial folk, agree again, and not fund managers. And what we are doing with the youth, and what are we doing with the youth academy? I think we've covered all that in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well said, Andrew.
Everyone's signing off the same song sheet here.
Yeah. So we do have a game today. People will probably want to leave to start travelling.
Yeah, I'm choking for a beer. This is
He's been
I need a drink
for-
after this. Honestly, I'm tanking.
Thanks
So-
for the input.
Ryan, you've done an amazing job this week with all these notes or stuff here that I won't speak for you, Simon, but there's certainly stuff here that I'd either forgotten about or didn't even know about.
I think we'll keep them just in case we need to do another one of these.
Aye.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back to
Sorry, I've had to do them, but
yeah. I think that's the main point we'd all make here. None of us wanted to do this show
Not at
or read these out.
Transparency we need. And
Yeah.
need it quick.
So we're playing St Johnstone today. We will be back on air later on today. Hopefully you can join us then. All right. Obviously we've been on the air for quite a while now, so I think the plan is, I don't know if Simon, you're going to do, are we going to do a preview, or we'll just do a reaction show after the game and analyse
We'll
it?
have a wee think of that later on. I'll stop getting my breakfast.
Okay. Okay, everyone, it's been a marathon show today. Ryan, absolutely fantastic. Well done, mate.
Whoever thought we'd have been doing marathons on Gers TV?
Right, Simon needs his breakfast, obviously.
You'll be asking for a game at this rate.
Well, listen,
I'm injured.
would you rather have Silas or Scott Wright? It's like, I still need to say Scott Wright, mate, sorry.
Back to my BB days.
Aye.
Have a good day, guys. We'll hopefully do something before the game, if not after the game. Enjoy the match wherever you're watching it from.
Yeah, back to the football. Big game of the day. Support the team, travel in numbers, try and create the atmosphere we can.
Get behind the team, regardless of what's going on at board level. Get behind the team today. It's not the players' fault what's going on at board level. We need to get behind the team. We need to support the players.
Yeah.
We need to try and come out of this.
And always remember, we are
the people.